Now, well, maybe not now, but now, I understand the phrase, be careful what you wish for. Not because you won't get it, but because you are doomed to regret it when you get it. I don't know if that's how the saying goes, but that is how I'm understanding it. And for the sake of this video, that is how I want to use it. Because I wish for a lot of original movies. I wish for new movies to be original movies. And the films we get nowadays have movies that are not original. That there are things that we've seen before that are just being recycled over and over again. And honestly, it is tiring seeing all those things over and over again. So I always wish to see new movies, to see new original movies, new original ideas. And to some extent, I got my wish. And I don't know. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this video, I want to talk about Kinds of Kindness. Kinds of Kindness is a film by Yorgos Lanthimos, and Yorgos Lanthimos is the director of films like The Lobster and Poor Things. Poor Things was nominated for a bunch of Oscars last year, and Emma Stone won Best Actress for performance in Poor Things. Those two movies that I mentioned, The Lobster and Poor Things, they are very weird movies. They are very strange movies. Like, this director is a guy that makes strange movies, and this one could possibly be the strangest of all. This film follows the story of three different stories that don't have anything to do with each other, except for the fact that there is a recurring character in all three stories. And those stories, they just kept getting stranger and stranger and stranger. I mean, the stories on their own, they are strange stories, but the direction of it, the way the director chooses to tell the story is just done in another strange way that just adds so much levels of strange to this thing. And this is just something that just, wow, wow. This film is such a complex film, but when you watch it, you know that the filmmaker has a vision in his mind. You know that the filmmaker is going for something, is trying to show you something. But for the life of me, I couldn't get what he was trying to tell me because this film was just so complex and so complicated that I was just bewildered while watching it. And I thought to talk about it. Before I watched this movie, I didn't even think I was going to review it. But after I finished watching it, I had to just talk about that shit. And that movie was just, wow, it was an experience, for lack of a better word. That movie was an experience. And I am torn about this movie because I don't know if I like it, but I don't hate it. I know it's not a film that blows my mind or anything. Like, to some extent, it blows my mind, but it's not a film that I can say that I really like. But at the same time, I don't hate it because I see the amount of work that goes into it, like the vision that went into making this kind of film. And I appreciate that vision. But the story is just something. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I watched it and I don't know how to feel about it. Like, if you asked me to rate this film, I wouldn't know what to rate it. But I just want to talk about this film. One thing I really liked in this film is the performance from the actors. The performance from the actors in this film was very, very vulnerable. Like, while I was watching this film and the actors were doing that thing, I thought of something. I thought, man, acting is a very, very vulnerable work because you have to just show some sides of yourself that you never thought you could show, and not just showing it to the whole world. And the size of these actors that I saw in this film were some just very, very vulnerable parts of themselves. Some parts that the actors said they might not know that they had those parts to themselves. So, like, just being naked and being, I mean, not physically naked, even though there are some people that are physically naked, but just being bare with your emotions and just letting the whole world see you in all your vulnerabilities and just being human. Like, it was something that all the actors in this film did. They were all so vulnerable with their performances. Like, they revealed so much. Like, it was mind-boggling. Maybe not mind-boggling, maybe mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing how they could play those roles like that. Their performances was, that's the word I could give it, vulnerable. Their performances were so vulnerable and so powerful. Like, I just appreciated all the actors in this film for the performances they gave. Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. Whew, all their performances were fantastic and just so vulnerable and powerful. I keep saying vulnerable because that's how it felt to me. And that's the best way to describe these actors' performances and give them their flowers. The director of this film is a very, very ballsy director. He's someone that has so much balls and just makes film that he wants to make. He doesn't care what the audience thinks. He doesn't care if the audience gets his story. Because when you watch a film, or when you see some kind of films, or some lesser directors, when they direct a film, they like to let the audience grasp everything they are trying to tell you. They like spoon feed you with things and almost explain everything that they want you to get. They explain everything to you with their storytelling and their characters. They just explain everything to you so that you get everything, and they just want you to get what they are trying to say. But this director does not care. He does not care if he gets it or not. He just has a vision in his mind. He has a story that he wants to tell. He tells that story the way he wants to tell it, and he doesn't explain anything to you. And I respect the director for that, because I am someone that likes when a director can believe that I am smart enough to get what they are trying to say. Even though I didn't feel smart enough to get what this film was trying to say. But I just like that a director can just make their film and leave it to you, and just don't answer any question, and just leave it to the audience. And that is just so ballsy. And that's one thing that made me respect the filmmaking of this film and the director. He did a fantastic job. Even though I did not get the film, but I respect the amount of work and the thoughtfulness that went into making this film. Another thing I liked with this film, or maybe not liked, is the cinematography of this film. The cinematography of this film feels like it is keeping you at bay. Keep you at bay and just let you be subjective with what you are watching. It feels like the director doesn't want you to interfere in the story. He doesn't want to bring you into the story. He just wants you to view the story. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but that's how it felt to me. It felt like the director just, okay, this is the director saying, okay, just see this thing. Don't get into the story. Just stand from afar and watch it. And that is how the cinematography felt like. It felt like they were just keeping you at arm's length and just positioning you far behind to just watch what was going on without really getting so into the story and getting more into the characters and interfering with the story. When some directors direct a film, if they want the audience to get into it, or if they want the audience to feel immersed in the story, they'll make some kind of decisions. They could choose to do close-ups and some other things that just draw you into that story and make you be in one person's perspective or be in another person's perspective. But this filmmaker does not do that. It just draws you out and just view it like you are viewing it like God. You don't know what is going on. You don't have any part to play in what is going on. Just look at it. Just watch it. And that's just on that. That just makes me think this director is just a ballsy director. He has so much guts. Like, he doesn't care what the audience thinks. He just makes his movie and believes the audience is smart enough to get it. And like I said, I respect that so much, and I appreciate the director for that, even though I did not get his film. There was one particular thing I did not like about this film, and I don't know, it is strange because sometimes I like this thing, but in this film, I did not care for it, and that is the nudity. There is so much nudity in this film, and I'm like, why are there just so many naked people in this film? Like, it almost felt like they had a number of naked people that they wanted to hit in the film, and they just exceeded it and just kept going and adding a lot of naked people in it. And I'm like, why is there so much nudity in this film? It's something that did not sit well with me, and so something that just it kept taking me out of the experience while I was watching this film, and that was one thing that I did not like. Even though normally I like nudity. But in this film, it felt too much and it was just taking me out. And there's comedy in this film, but the comedy is very little. And just like the whole film, it is a very strange kind of comedy. Some things that you were like, I can't believe I'm laughing at this thing. But you're laughing. But it doesn't happen so often. It just happens sometimes. And yeah, it is something that was added to this film. Man, this film is about 2 hours and 40 something minutes long. And it was one crazy experience. It was one very strange experience. I don't think I've ever seen a film like this. And trust me, I've seen some very, very strange films, but none like this. And it is good and bad. It is good in the sense that it's an original film, and I would like to see more original films. I'm tired of seeing the same thing being repeated over and over again. I like seeing new things, new original ideas, and this is a new original idea. And that is one of the things that I like about it that I'm grateful for. But on the bad side of it, original ideas could be strange and they could be something that the audience would not understand and the audience would not relate to. And if you just give the audience enough original ideas that are very strange, it might just turn them off to original ideas. And that's something that I hope that doesn't become a result of experiencing films like this. And yeah, that's just how I feel about this whole thing. I want to see more original ideas, even if they are strange, but I hope they won't be so strange. And when you watch the film, or when I watch the film, I will be able to understand what I am watching. This film, as much as I like some things about it and feel some kind of way about it, is a film I'm not going to recommend to anyone. Because if I recommend this film to somebody and the person watches it, they'll be like, why the fuck did you tell me to watch this fucking movie? This film was just so many adjectives. So many adjectives. I don't want to use adjectives in case someone is watching this video and would like to watch this movie. But disclaimer or whatever, I am not recommending this film to you. If you want to watch it, enjoy the ride. But me, Mr. Obo, I'm not recommending this movie, but it was one very wild experience. Have you seen Kinds of Kindness? What do you think about it? Comment below and let me know. Is this your first time on my channel? My nigga, please subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.